Finding an angle. Find the size of the angle marked A here. If we consider that angle, this side is the opposite and this side is the adjacent. Start with the mnemonic as always. So, car, toa. Here we have opposite and adjacent, so we must be using the tan. The tan of the marked angle is equal to the opposite divided by the adjacent. In this case, the tangent of the angle is equal to 3 divided by 4. Now, when you're finding an angle, always write this down as the next line. A equals tan minus 1, 3/4. This reminds you to press Shift on your scientific calculator. Now I'll get the answer on the next line. I don't have my scientific calculator available to me. So I've got my class pad, and on this, let's just clear everything that we did yesterday. If we go to the keyboard and trig, you can see I've got this tan minus 1 just here. So writing this down reminds you that that's what you're going for. Then I can use a fraction and go 3/4, close the bracket and execute, and I get my answer, which is 36.9 degrees. So 36.9 degrees if I go to 1 decimal place. Now I do have a picture here of your Casio, and if I just clear all the writing, you can see it. Now you can see the sine, cos and tan buttons just here. When you want to use inverse tan, as we just did, so the tan minus 1, you press Shift and then tan, and it comes up with tan minus 1 as it did just then, and then you can use the fraction template exactly as we did on the class pad just now. Now here we have a second example. We want to find the size of this angle here, B. Now compared to B, this side over here is the opposite, and this side is the hypotenuse. Start, as always, with the mnemonic. Opposite and hypotenuse means sine, and that means the sine of our named angle is equal to the length of the opposite divided by the length of the hypotenuse. So in this case, sine B is 4/5. Then in the same way as we did with the tan, write sine minus 1 4/5, and then we'll get the answer on the next line. So here we go, sine minus 1, and as I showed you just now, on your scientific, you would just press the Shift and sine buttons, and we want 4/5, and that gives me 53.1 degrees, correct to 1 decimal place. And as a final example, we have this one where we want to find x. Compared to x, this is the adjacent, and of course the longest side is always the hypotenuse. Once again, start with the mnemonic. Adjacent and hypotenuse means here. So the cosine of our named angle is equal to the length of the adjacent divided by the length of the hypotenuse. So cos x is equal to 4/7. then x is the inverse cosine, cos minus 1, of 4/7. So we just need to calculate that. So let's try and bring the calculator where we can see better. And we've got the inverse cosine of 4/7. And that gives me 55.2 degrees if I go to 1 decimal place.